I hope you're paying attention this summer, because I will be taking the next 2 months off, this time voluntarily. But we have assembled a potent group of hosts to fill in for me, beginning with Tiffany Haddish, Coleman Domingo, Ike Barinholtz, Anthony Anderson, Jelly Roll, and as a special treat for our commander-in-chief, I asked one of his all-time favorites, Rosie O'Donnell, to be here to keep the hits coming. So, you're welcome. And all I ask in return, Mr. President, is that you don't do anything stupid while I'm gone, okay?
He's a genius, a comedic genius.
I don't get it. You know, one of the other comedic geniuses, Carlos Mencia, was unexpectedly woken up this morning by DA Nathan Hochman. Carlos Mencia famously, if you remember the feud with Joe Rogan, a real comic, Joe Rogan
next story coming up.
Okay, go ahead. Well, I have telepathic powers.
No. Keep going with your story, but Rogan is part of the next story, so it's just weird.
No, Rogan, Carlos Mencia is a hack comic, has been around for about 20 years, and he famously, and he's not alone, a famous joke stealer among comics, and really just brazen joke stealer. At one point, he was confronted by Joe Rogan a couple of years back for stealing jokes, and it almost got physical. Well, yesterday it did get physical, because District Attorney Nathan Hochman has created a brand new tax fraud investigative division, and they went out to Encino with guns and took down Carlos Mencia early in the morning for tax evasion, setting up fraudulent companies, and not paying taxes on $8.75 million in revenue that he's taken in as a comic in the past couple of years. He received 78 notices from the government to pay his taxes, and Mencia was ridiculed by Hochman, saying, you know, this is how we got Al Capone. I could get this stand-up comic, and he made light of it in a very, very positive way, Nathan Hochman. But Mencia is looking at 10 years in state prison, and a fairly famous stand-up Mexican-American comic is seeing his day in jail at this point, putting the fear of God into Hollywood celebrity elites that Hochman says he's coming for next.
By the way, I don't know if you already know this, but I have to point it out. His prison record will read, I believe, Ned Arnell Holness, because Carlos Mencia is actually Ned. That is his birth name. He's out of he's a Honduran American comedian, and he changed his name over to sound more Latin. So he not only steals jokes, but he likes to steal a nationality. And that incident you're talking about, Joe Rogan, I think is around 2008 to 2010.
Yeah. It was a while.
And it was a bigger deal than a lot of people realize, because Joe Rogan got banned from the Comedy Store.
That's right.
Not Carlos Mencia.
That's right.
Rogan is the one who suffered.
The white guy took the fall for the phony Mexican.
Exactly. Mitzi Shore banished him from that, and I think she let him back in not long before she died, but he was banned, I want to say, for like 10 years or more. Obviously, after she passed, you know, she was happy to have him in there, but then he left California. Yeah. But that leads into the next story I had, and it's just a weird coincidence.
Weird.
Jay Leno was being interviewed, and he was talking about how Joe Rogan is the new Johnny Carson, as he reflects on what was changed in late night television. And here's a little clip of that.
Oh, good. That's great.
When you see the guys working today, do you miss it? Do you think, glad I'm not doing it now?
You know, people always say, oh, and I bet you missed it with Trump. No, not really. It's like shooting fish in a barrel, you know. You kind of do it. You know, it's like I used to say, the punchline of the joke would be like, that's like the president with a stripper. Okay, now the president is with strippers. I mean, you can't. We live in a society where you can't, there's nothing you can say that's so outrageous, because a comedy comes from a place of conservatism. You start with a sort of moral high ground.
No, he's right about that. I mean, he's conservative himself.
Yeah, he just won't, you know, obviously won't promote that. And what was it? Somebody in the people are saying, you can't replace Johnny Carson. Nobody's replacing him. They're following him. There is no Johnny Carson. He died. It's kind of like
You're replacing him. What are you
he's
talking?
dead. Can't replace him. And before that, he was retired. So they're talking about the place in society.
Right.
And I do agree that Joe Rogan is.
I agree too. He's taken that that space. And whether you like him or not, it doesn't really matter. I mean, but he owns that space.
Yes. And if
I mean,
you
has
go-
anybody said what a great interview Jimmy Kimmel did last week of Maria Conchita Alonso? I mean, or anything. You know what I'm saying? He does these monologues and they promote him on TikTok, as Eric has pointed out repeatedly, to get views.
Sure.
When was the last time any one of these cats broke news with an interview of a real human?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And now, ironically, I will flip it and say that Joe Rogan's not the best comic in the world. I've never found him.
He's a B-level
hilarious.
comic.
Yeah, he is.
But maybe that's why he's doing.
Or,
maybe that's why he's doing this.
well, he found his place. He is a phenomenal interviewer. Created a whole new format.
Yep.
Nobody was doing 3 hours. As a matter of fact, when Joe Rogan came into prominence, because I'm a podcast guy from way back, everybody's talking about 20 minutes to 40 minutes. You're really doing an hour's just getting too long. So he went the other way and went 3 hours every interview and opened a whole new genre in that way, the long form interview. So kudos. You know, he's very good. But anyway.
Well, we'll see what happens with Carlos Mencia, but I got a feeling a lot of accountants' phones were ringing off the hook today in Beverly Hills.
I'm very, very sure, but it's sad because I guess he's probably doing fine, but he's one of those that I kind of forgot about the guy. I mean, he is really famous.
Well, you're taking in $8.75 million in stand-up. He's doing more than fine. I mean, that's the top 1%.
See, again,
I mean, these numbers are off the charts. I mean, people don't understand how lucrative this market is for the top 5% in the market. That's why so many people try to do it, mostly to no avail. But
Sure.
that's the bait. People know what other people make per year, you know, doing stand-up. There are ways to find that out. And also paying for an act. I mean, you could buy an act, and I know this sounds crazy. You may pay $1 million for an act. People retire their acts. People sell their acts. People hire, I think it was Foxworthy or the other redneck comic, I forget his name, who was selling out stadiums. Bigger than, he famously traveled with 10 writers that he had on the annual payroll. I mean, you want to talk about a rock star lifestyle. He's traveling with private planes and everything for the writers and stuff. I mean, there's huge money to be made here.
Well, and
unfortunately, I haven't made it, but nevertheless.
Well, you bring it up, and I do know that there's comedians out there who are huge, and a lot of people might not know them, like Russell Peters.
Right.
Russell
I don't know any of these guys.
Is one of the biggest comedians in the world.
Right.
And massive. So yeah, you're right. And then Jay Leno, famously, to circle back, while he was doing the Tonight Show, he would fly out like every Friday, sometimes Saturday.
He would drive down to Hermosa Beach. More importantly, where at the Magic Club was usually where he worked in Hermosa Beach.
Well, he would go out and do corporate gigs, get $50,000 or more for a day's work, fly back on his own jet.
Yeah.
With no problem, and he never cashed in any of his Tonight Show money. All of his money was earned on stand-up, and he just kept banking Tonight Show cash.
Well, I didn't know any of those names Jimmy Kimmel mentioned, other than the last one, Rosie O'Donnell. But I don't know any of those people in the comedy world. Whoever those people were, I'm sure they're big now in that space.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, comedy, I feel like is as big as it's ever been.
Right, but I'm saying he's talking about going on vacation. When Johnny went on vacation, he would get George Carlin, he would get Joan Rivers, he would get these people that the entire nation knew who they were. I don't know who the fuck these people are that he's talking about, and that might be intentional on the part of the Jimmy Kimmel people who don't want him to be replaced. That was always a fear on the Tonight Show and led to the feud between Joan and Johnny, and I mean, there's all and the late night wars. 20 years later, with Letterman and Leno. I mean. There's a lot of jealousy. If you went on Letterman, you couldn't go on Leno. I mean, there's a reason for all that stuff.
Well, it's kind of like the Fox News hosts. I did not
Yeah.
know that they had a similar showdown between Bill O'Reilly and Sean Hannity, from what I understand. So it's like if somebody was on O'Reilly, they were banned from Hannity, and vice versa.
Well, not only that, I mean, I remember Dr. Drew telling me he was banned from CNN because he went on Fox News as guests. I mean, this has nothing to do with the host. CNN famously or infamously told guests, if you go on Fox, you're not coming back here. He thought they were kidding. They were not kidding.
Oh no, they take that seriously. But you know what? Before we go any further, I do have good news that helps cheer me up and cheer us up. We have a sponsor.
Oh,
so
thank the Lord. Thank the Lord Jesus.
Share that with everyone. Quick debrief for everyone here who's on Medicare or about to be. There's something that most people don't realize. The plan you picked might not be the plan that actually fits your life right now. And through all the noise, the mailers, the commercials, the robocalls, it can feel daunting to even take another look. Your doctors change, your prescriptions change, plans update their coverage every year, and nobody's helping you keep up. That's why we're pointing folks to Chapter. They make Medicare dead simple. One call, one advisor, you tell them your doctors, your prescriptions, what matters to you, and they do the rest. They compare every plan available nationwide, not a handful, every plan, and they come back to you with what actually fits. No pressure, no agenda. If your current plan is the right one, they'll tell you that. If it's not, they'll help you find one that fits better. Last year, folks found new plans with Chapter saving more than $1,000 on average. It's free. It won't take you more than 20 minutes. Good intel is crucial, so call Chapter today at 855-627-1487. Again, call today at 855-627-1487 and get the best information possible.
Wow, that was great, Eric. That was great. Way to go.
People like, how did he change his shirt so quickly?
Yes.
It's magic.
Yes.
It's magic, folks.
It's podcast
like
magic.
My little read right here. Anyway, it is free to the customer. Government is paying them off. Definitely check it out. You can potentially save some money.
Just check it out. I mean, that would be the best bet for us. Yeah.
Helps us a lot, and I believe it'll help you too. We do try to get good sponsors that are beneficial to all involved. We even at one time had a sponsor. I was like, yeah, we're not going to do that one anymore. Because
most of them have been fairly good.
They have been. They have.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. I'm trying to think back as to
it's
one
been
of them
a couple of years, but
yeah,
a little bit shrill in terms of the world is ending unless you had a kit kind of thing.
Oh, okay, all right.
It was a little extreme, but
yeah.
Really cool people. Glad to work with them. Met the people,
right
the
on.
company, everything,
right
and enjoy it. All right. News that this is how you leave your position, and I think it's fantastic. Tulsi Gabbard spotlights Fauci.
Oh, that was a good one.
COVID origin questions and final act as intelligence chief amid succession fight. Now that part I'm all confused with.
Yeah, that's a separate story. I don't know why that's linked to this story. There's two separate stories, Eric.
Right. And really, she didn't release anything new from what I saw. She just confirmed what everybody suspected. That, that whole origin of that thing that's in China that I'm still afraid to say because YouTube and the Biden administration, well, she released that information saying, yes, as a matter of fact, it was paid for by Fauci and crew,
and big Pfizer, big drug.
Oh yeah, big.
I mean, she goes into some verbal detail in her video. I don't know if you saw hers on Twitter, but she goes into some real detail as to how the operation worked, with Fauci crushing anyone who opposed him, rewarding people who towed the party line, how Big Pharma rewarded both of them, how he moved this thing, the gain of function into certain areas of other countries. She went into some detail about it. I mean, is something going to happen? Who knows? Who knows? But
He got a pardon. I think it's going to be kind of tricky. And, Trump's not innocent in the affair either, because he's the one who put him up there. He's the one who promoted Burks. He's the one who came up with the project. So it is going to be a challenge, in my opinion. But better something come out, I guess, than
but it creates more frustration, I think, in a lot of ways, because it's like, hey, this guy robbed a bank, can't do a fucking thing about it, but aren't you glad you knew that this guy robbed a bank?
Well, I think there's something to be said too, with Fauci himself. I think he was uniquely in a position. I don't know of anybody who worked that long in the government across all the administrations. And part of the reason he was so powerful is consider what he could do to anybody who went against him. Like, you're going to get cut off of all government funding.
Yeah, it was enormous, unchecked power. And he lied under oath to Congress. She's not wrong about that. You get blanket immunity from the president who signed this thing with an auto pen and doesn't even know what happened. Either you contest that or you don't contest it. Shut the fuck up then. Either auto pens are not valid for pardons, or, why bring it up?
I agree. What I think could happen, I would like to see happen, I don't know if it will happen, is drag him now in front of Congress, because this is new information.
Yeah.
However, we want to break it down, this is a new release. Now drag him up and say, let's talk. What happened?
Yeah.
Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? And then if he lies, pardon doesn't cover that.
No.
Pardon doesn't cover his perjury.
No.
So either get him to squirm in front of Congress and have to admit every single thing, which isn't ideal, but it's something.
Yeah.
Or hopefully, or he'll lie, and then he could be technically locked up for perjury.
I'll take that.
There we go. That's what I propose. Anybody who has another great idea, I'm all ears, but I think it could be a beneficial thing.
You could have a lawsuit, a civil action suit by the victims of COVID against him personally in civil court. The pardon may have covered him criminally. But if I was a smart lawyer or a group of lawyers, I would round up 100, 150 victims and put together a class action suit against this piece of shit.
Oh, and not only that, you gave me another idea when you said that, but
okay.
He's got a federal pardon, but does he have a Texas pardon,
nope.
Mississippi pardon, an Alabama pardon, Arkansas pardon?
You could just take victims from Texas. You could just take, with Paxton or someone, putting together
Florida,
one state.
Do one after another and just drag them.
Yeah, you could have states combine. Sometimes state attorneys generals hook up and combine into class action suits.
And if I recall, there's no statute of limitation on murder.
No,
if it
that's
can
murder.
Be shown, it takes some work.
Well, the discovery would be worth it, to get those emails and to present them in open court of him saying, fuck these people, or, who cares? The COVID thing doesn't work. And I know it, and you know it, Bob, or whatever's in there, Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that could be really.
At least you'd bankrupt him and his family, which is maybe, worth it.
Yeah, he spent the rest of his life trial after trial after trial after trial after trial. It would just be so frustrating.
But I'm saying you can't just keep putting things out in the zeitgeist, like the thing we talked about with Ilhan Omar. Nothing ever fucking happens. So all you get is frustrated people who keep saying the same two words. Do something. It reflects badly on you, to keep going out there as a government official saying, Ilhan Omar married her brother. She stole this money. Okay, what did we hire you for, shithead? What do you want, us to go and arrest her? You know what I mean? And to repeatedly say it, they don't gauge the frustration of the American people who are saying, just do something.
I agree. And it's funny you bring that, because it's been Tulsi who's been kind of dropping these things one after another. In terms of it, and nothing's really happened because she's dropped
she keeps referring
Russiagate. She keeps referring, and nope.
We're on our second attorney general already, so how many more are going to change seats on this thing? We never hear from Luna anymore at the oversight committee. That's her job may be gone soon, unless she gets reelected. and you know, the midterms stay as they are. But that being said, nothing ever seems to happen.
I'm sure that Luna will turn up with Morley in the next documentary.
Whatever.
Coming up, but I don't know. And it is interesting that she dropped that on her last day. I was like,
yeah,
it's so damn hot. She's like, I'm going to do it. I'm out. It's like a grenade.
Well, there's also a thing she dropped about Giuliani and the phone call with Ukraine and the Trump coup. I don't know if you saw those documents.
No, I did. Tell me about it.
I'm telling you about it right now.
Oh, okay,
she also dropped a massive amount of, while still redacted, some of it, about the phone call coup regarding Trump, and how in these documents you see the step-by-step procedure of how they went and almost had a coup d'etat over the phone call with a stand-up comic actor named Zelensky at the time, who had recently become president of Ukraine. So these documents are also extremely important, by the way.
Interesting. Well, we'll see.
She verbally addresses Fauci, but the documents in detail address the coup d'etat regarding Trump and Ukraine.
Okay, Tractor Guy is standing up for Luna, or he's trolling us. I don't know which, but Luna's been instrumental to UFO disclosure.
That's funny.
Yeah, I am hoping it's a troll, because I'm like, really?
I must have missed that.
Well, I mean, okay. I admittedly am not the deepest one up on that, but very cool. All right, so we'll blow through. I mean, the ongoing story that's been going on since February, but kind of confusing as usual. So it keeps changing. So I don't even know what to pull right now.
It changes minute by minute.
Right. We signed a document. Kumbaya, supposedly fighting had stopped, and then earlier today, the Iran Foreign Ministry said the Strait of Hormuz is open, while everybody else said it was closed. So even refreshing, Iran doesn't know which is which. Are they open? Are they closed? What is going on? So, Mark, what's going on?
Well, okay, there's so many things going on. I don't know what to address first. Number one, criticizing this deal does not mean you're turning your back on Trump. You know, we've been accused of being heavily for Trump, and then if we criticize him, we're against Trump. So I don't understand the YouTube market exactly. So I just call them as I see them, coming. This thing has been handled so badly that they're now looking for reasons. I mean, handled badly in terms of political communication coming out of the press office of the White House. That's what I'm talking about, communication. I'm talking about the publicity and the handling of this political hot potato. And now, granted, it's the middle of the summer. Granted, as Eric said, the press secretary's given a baby out. Granted, a lot of different things are granted, but I don't think anybody could disagree that this thing has been bungled in terms of communication strategy. And that's what I'm referring to here. And I'll address further issues, but I just wanted to get this one point out. And I'm not alone in this. Other people have said the same.
It's noticeably that way, though. And part of why I think it's significant is the communications from this term of Trump have been excellent prior to this. So there may be more going on here. It could be showing, a breakup internally, that some of these things are, falling apart. Yeah. Also, it could be that all the big, the big brains are all on the road in Geneva and on vacation and elsewhere. And Caroline Levitt pointed out that the smart people aren't around. So
on this chat, Eric and I have discussed this before about a power grab by the woke MAGA Reich attempting to succeed Trump and using Tucker Carlson's son being in the press office of J.D. Vance. We've talked about all these different things all year, and I believe this was their first attempt to try to seize power for the future. They put J.D. Vance out there. He has been, inundated with a firestorm of criticism, J.D. Vance. I think Trump smartly said, you know what, let's see if you can handle the fire. Again, Trump, doing this thing where he does this gladiator thing, Eric, where he just says, go out there. And not surprisingly, a guy who has been completely mute all week is Marco Rubio, who looks like the saddest man on earth and looking for an exit strategy himself from this debacle, Eric.
No, he was the one who had to bring the document to Trump to sign.
Right.
But anyway, well, here, this is on that. This is somebody from Blaze talking to JD, since he's coming up in this.
However, from my vantage point, it seems to me like the bigger problem is I don't know exactly how I would describe it in a way that would be charitable, but almost like Israel derangement syndrome, going beyond, okay, yeah, we don't like Israeli policies. We don't think that we should put the priorities of any country first. Completely agree with that. That's fine. But the obsession that some people have, I would say on the right, with blaming all of their problems on Israel, all of their disagreements with Trump on some secret Israeli influence. And I'm not saying all of those people hate every Jewish person, but it seems to get there really fast. I see that more prominently on the right than I see true Israel first kind of obsession that you seem to be describing.
So I see both, and I think both are bad. And I'm probably particularly sensitive to the first thing because of the last 2 days I've been defending the president's decision to end the Iran deal. And I find often the arguments are, well, Israel doesn't think this is good, therefore it's bad. And
a lot of people made that argument.
Israel's opinions matter, but fundamentally they are separate. But you're right. I mean, there are certainly people who take every frustration with the Trump administration, every policy disagreement becomes because of Israel. And that is absolutely wrong. And again, I think that is one of those things that can bleed into some very dark places.
Yeah.
And Tucker's son was your press secretary, for Christ's sakes, the leader of this entire movement, who you should be denouncing for saying the most insane things and going on Megyn Kelly and a woman who's been completely trashed as a psychopathic nut. You just want to sell your book and go on this channel? I mean, the fact that you've said nothing about the psychopathic statements by Tucker Carlson, yet you find that the Israeli cabinet is upset about this deal. Why would they be upset about a deal that only affects their survival as a nation? I mean, what a fucking mess this guy has created. But to Trump's credit, that's why he put him out there. So let us see if this guy could handle, being in the limelight, Eric. And I believe, when he says something like, one of the coolest things is getting to know these guys, regarding discussing this with the Iranian diplomats. That's a quote from him. One of the coolest things is getting to know these guys. Well, fuck you. It's not one of the coolest things. By the way, there is a type of Stockholm syndrome that does happen with long-term negotiations. The Obama people talked about it because their negotiations went on like 6 years. So you do get to know the guy. But that's not the hippest phrase in the book. 5 minutes after you pull the plug on a war, it'd say the coolest thing is getting to know these guys.
Well, on that note, because I want to continue on that. Very famously, Arab culture in the Middle East is huge on hospitality. There's not much out there that's warmer and more generous and giving. When it comes to that sort of thing, that's part of why it can drag on and on and on. And if somebody is so polite and so elegant and speaks so well to you and thinks of your every need while you're there, I'm sure that you would be getting confused with that kind of exposure because they're phenomenal.
That's why they do it. That's why I recommend you take someone from the Israeli cabinet and put him in a chair with you during these negotiations, because that person will be able to cut through the bullshit. Now, if you are putting out trial balloons about what's going to float here in this country, you can't have it both ways. You can't viciously attack in public somebody who is criticizing your trial balloon. In other words, Eric, if a lot of this stuff, people have suggested that a lot of the stuff in the deal is Trump wants to see how it floats. A very common scenario politically, but you can't viciously attack people and have a trial balloon at the same time. If you want to find out which way the wind blows, you can't threaten to kill them politically because they told you what's going to fly and what's not going to fly. Because now you're getting almost like a similar thing that the Democrats do, where Republican talking points seem to be lining up with a phrase, and people have heard this, and when I say it, you're going to know what I'm talking about.
On Tuesday?
No, let's just wait and see what happens. Let's just wait and see about the Iranian deal. I've heard this 5,000 times in the past few days. And the other phrase is, we can't be Monday morning quarterbacks. We got to look forward and move on. In other words, trying to analyze what just happened 35 seconds ago is now considered to be gauche and unnecessary. Now,
I'm guilty of let's just see what happens, but that's my natural stance.
Right.
And just about everything I'm
that's
always
why
saying.
it's such a great talking point. That's why it's a wonderful talking point. It really is something that cuts to the heart of trying to put this deal out there, cut off communication, cut off criticism, and just keep saying, let's see what happens when they come to the table. Because I'll tell you right now, Trump wants to move on from this story as fast as Speedy Gonzalez running in a cartoon. He wants to turn the page and move on to the next thing because, and this is just my opinion, folks, you could take it with a grain of salt. I believe that he pulled the plug on this war abruptly and decided to go full midterm analysis, full midterm. And he has now rockily and unnecessarily pulled the plug in his version of Biden's Afghanistan withdrawal. That's how rocky this thing is. They put together a 14-point thing that my high school history teacher would have given me a C on for not writing out any details. It's a memo to have a memo of a future memo. That's how quickly they pulled the plug on this conflict. You and I sat here for weeks saying, this embargo is great. We're really strangling them. They're going to cut off oil pretty soon. We don't have to deal with this every single day. There's a ceasefire. There's no shooting. Nothing's going on. And all of a sudden, what? It's over? I'm pulling out every single thing. We're making peace with these guys. They can have their ballistic missiles because the Saudis have. Whoa. There was so many things flying around the last 3 or 4 days that are so crazy. And Trump doing impersonations of people, sitting there with the Emir of Qatar, who just gave him a $400 million plane. I mean, tip of the hat to the Qataris. One of the greatest moves I've ever seen by the Qataris. You have 10 years of spending billions in the American institutions of the left, denouncing the state of Israel repeatedly, bringing in professors, funding universities for one message about the Israeli Middle East situation. Okay, that's great. Now the second phase of their operation goes on, and history books will write this. I'm telling you right now, the second phase, begin to fund American influences with millions and millions of dollars, give them homes in Qatar, embrace people like Tucker Carlson, put into power Tucker Carlson's son as a press secretary for J.D. Vance. Now you're in the White House. The next thing you know, give this guy a Air Force One plane for $400 million. I mean, I've never seen this in my life. And now
keep in mind too, to their credit, like if we're going to be realistic,
this is all to their credit.
Qatar's not that different than Israel in some ways. They're both very small countries, and surrounded, and they're in an area of a lot of hostility. And Qatar is, as a weaker nation in that area. Now, Israel's not a weaker nation, but Qatar is a weaker nation. So they're kind of like Singapore of the Middle East in terms of they've got money and they
I mean, it's all fine. Again, I'm
it.
not criticizing them. I am celebrating their success. This is a fascistic theocracy run by a monarchy. Let me just repeat, it has nothing to do with the democracy of the state of Israel. This particular country has no civil liberties, no rights to gays and lesbians, no democracy, no elections, have total slavery. And there's the guy, this greasy fucking piece of shit sitting next to Trump in the White House. I almost fell off the couch looking at this guy, the Emir of Qatar, who was promoted over and over and over again by Tucker Carlson, who kept saying Qatar is our biggest ally. And at first, you and I laughed, Eric. Well, they ain't laughing no more. They ain't laughing no more. They have spent trillions to get their foot in the door into this nation. And there was Trump shaking his hand, welcoming $1 trillion investment into the American economy by the Qataris. Apparently there's no moral high ground when you're a transactional person like Trump. It's the good news and the bad news of Trump, Eric. It's either money talks or bullshit walks. I mean, the fact of the matter is, how about saying a couple of words for the 40,000 dead Iranian civilians that you called to rise up, kept saying you've got their back, and they're now dead in pools of blood? Not people in the military, the regime that you're negotiating with. How about taking that money and setting up a fund for their families, taking some of that money from the Iranians and setting up a fund for the dead 40,000 civilians that you call to rise up against this regime that you're now in bed with? I mean, it's really disgusting, Eric. You know, call it a freedom fund if you want, call it something, you know, but you can't just ignore 40,000 dead civilians when you demanded and said, I've got your back.
You mean
Rise
like the
up.
Kurds, Mark?
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
unheard of.
Wow.
The Kurds have dealt with that for decades, literally. But
Right. No,
okay,
but I
want to.
regime, go ahead.
No,
I'm
I
sorry.
want to address this one because Curtis here says, Mark, you're way off about the MOU, way off. Now, I have one question for
Well,
Curtis.
why am I way off? What are you talking
Well,
about?
this is my big question. I'm admittedly a very simple person. I'm not the brightest candle on the cake. What in the 14 points is Iran's sacrifice?
Nothing.
That is the part that bothers me. Is I'm
Nothing.
like,
Nothing.
every negotiation is a give and a take.
He
I don't know
cut
what
and run.
the give is from
He-
Iran.
He cut and run. And I'll tell you the second part of the cynical political move that he did. Allowing Vance to go out there is an attempt to bring the woke MAGA Reich back into the fold to win the midterms. That's how brazenly cynical this move is. You know this, Eric. We've talked about this on this show. This is an attempt, and we talked about this happening. I just didn't know they would combine it with cutting and running in this Iran conflict with the same move to bring in the woke MAGA Reich to win the midterms. Do I want to win the midterms? Abso-fucking-lutely. But this is a cynical, craven political move combined with the war that I've ever seen happen in the span of 2 days. It's absolutely breathtaking to watch. And history will judge this. I'm telling you right now.
Now, I will, and I'll a little on in the sense of being realistic, because we've also talked about this.
Yeah.
That if Trump really loses the midterms, he's going to prison. He will be impeached, probably convicted and gone. So the clock ran out on the guy,
Right,
and
agree.
he may have to do it. And ironically, I think the problem is that he waited too long. If he did it a month ago, like before the blockade, he just said, I did it. There, we bombed the hell out of it. We're done.
Here's a crazy idea. How about he did this entire Iranian operation a week after the midterms? Think about it, folks. Think about what I just said. A week after the midterms, he does this entire operation against Iran. Why did he have to do it 8 months out from the midterms? Why? What was the pressing issue here for him to do this? And then to have to pull the plug on his own naval blockade. You're trying to tell me, and Eric and I have discussed this, the United States Navy could not open the Strait of Hormuz? Give me a fucking break. Give me a break.
I think he got bad intel personally. Because
well, there again, we can't have him be the leader. And
no, I understand that, but I'm saying that they made a bad. I heard one thing that stood out to me. No, one thing that stood out to me that I was like, oh shit. We kept hearing from multiple people that their facilities were about to shut down.
Right.
They had too much oil, they were backlogged, and it turns out it wasn't days. It was 8 months.
Exactly. That's just one of 25 different things that I'm addressing. And they just want to move on because they don't want any analysis because they pulled the plug for the midterms. Look, it's real politics, but I've never seen it this cynical and this craven. And I'm saying at least take some of the money and give it to the 40,000 dead Iranian civilians. For the love of God, have some moral high ground left with this country, Eric.
And by the way, for those, Bob, please don't do all caps. That's called shouting in the chat, and it's really rude as hell. But to push back on this, because of course everybody's going to seize on that. If Trump did this only because Netanyahu told him, then do you think Netanyahu is encouraging what he's doing right now? Do you think Israel's happy about this?
Right,
That
I'll
turns all that on its head. He's obviously not working for Netanyahu because Netanyahu's head's exploding right now. All of Israel's head's exploding now.
It's a canard. Let me give you a historical example of anybody who does this. Zelensky came to get arms from Trump. Winston Churchill would not leave FDR's side. He slept in the bathtub to get his Lend-Lease agreement to fight the Nazis before we got into the war. Every nation's leader does this. It's not because Netanyahu's a Jew. That's anti-Semitic hatred and bigotry. Every world leader around the world having to deal with international conflict has relationships with the president of the United States, some of them stronger than others. Churchill, to his credit, would not leave the White House, drinking every night with FDR into a stupor and sleeping in the bathtub and waking up the next morning and starting again with FDR to get him to commit to a Lend-Lease program to send them military hardware. This is, and nobody involved in that was Jewish, oddly enough, not FDR, despite
come on, Mark. Remember that Winston Churchill was the true villain of World War II.
Right. We learned that from Tucker, and we've learned all these. And when I say learned, I mean, this is obviously not learned, but I mean, you got to tip your hat to the Qataris. They have played us like a fiddle. Greatest country on earth, our closest ally, according to Tucker. But the poll that came out today, and I'll give you the numbers of the poll regarding the war. Among MAGA Republicans, 50% favored regime change, 25% negotiation, 19% a weakened Iran, and 7% don't know. The storyline, the takeaway, and this is from the New York Post, the storyline, the takeaway was twice as many MAGA Republicans are for regime change than are for this deal. I know that hurts a lot of you in your ass, but that's the reality of where the Republican base is. And that's why you're hearing guys like Wicker and other Republicans who are not rhinos on the Intelligence Committee and other committees speaking out for no political purpose. Now, Ted Cruz may have a political purpose. It doesn't mean
he's always been a hawk, though.
Right, but I'm saying it doesn't mean he's an immoral person for speaking out and speaking his ideas. But you're seeing blowback. Forget about the left. Forget about the Democrats. You're seeing both sides, the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times and the New York Post and Republican senators. There's got to be something there that he has to address Trump. You can't just tell them to go fuck themselves. That's not how our system works, Eric.
Yeah, well, while we're on this, we'll shift over because you brought up the plane, and I have this clip of Trump kind of saying farewell to Air Force One on retiring it, which is interesting.
So my return from the G7 summit was the last planned trip aboard the VC-25A. That's the 747. We'll probably do the museum thing. We'll get them fixed up a little bit, not like this one. And we'll do museums, but they're great planes. They're great history. It's a plane that was authorized by President Ronald Reagan so many years ago. I think they had a 707 before that, and it's in his museum. And that was flown by every president since George H.W. Bush. And it was a great plane. We had very little trouble with it. And Boeing has done a fantastic job. Boeing does a great job. They charge us too much, but other than that, said you got to get the prices down. But over its lifetime, that aircraft traveled to 96 countries on 223 international trips and flew over 6 million miles. It became the most famous, and as you know, it's actually two planes because Air Force One is actually two planes. They're totally identical. The other ones I can't. The only way I can tell is on the desk. The wood grain is slightly different.
That's the part I like about Joe. Of course, he would notice the wood grain being slightly different on the desk.
He always does.
They're literally interchangeable. You can hardly tell. It became the most famous airplane in the entire world, and I want to thank Presidential Airlift Group. The Presidential Airlift Group is unbelievable, the job they've done, and the 89th Airlift Wing who have lovingly cared for that plane, and we just very rarely had any problems. Which, if you know something about airplanes, you do have some difficulty. We really had very little difficulty, but
like
age
his
was
campaign
finally
plane.
catching up to it, no matter what.
Well,
No, but yeah,
the reality of it is the new plane that he just received from the Qataris was the Qatari royal family plane that has been converted into Air Force One. And the 2 additional Air Force One planes are not going to be ready for a number of years from Boeing. So the Qataris came in with this gift, quote unquote, this $400 million gift. And it's a retrofitted guitar, just so everybody knows what we're talking about here. It's a retrofitted Qatari family jet that's become now Air Force One. You know, who knows if there's any listening devices on there or anything else. If I was the Qataris, I would put something on there, that's for sure. But, you know, the Qataris...
Well, I'd imagine they could probably sense that if it's at Boeing or wherever they're going to, you know, they have to outfit it and everything else. I hope they're going over every freaking inch.
Well, it's a lot of hope.
Everything.
I'm saying that the 2 that are being built by Boeing from scratch.
Right.
And those are a number. He's not going to be around for that. The new one, the loaner is from, again, these freaking Qataris. Imagine getting, I mean, all of a sudden they became our closest allies and Israel became our biggest problem in the span of like five historical seconds. I mean, it's quite shocking. Now, Qatar has worked on this thing for a number of years. They didn't just start this 5 minutes ago. They could use the same system they've just created, and I'm sure they're extremely happy with how wonderful this has turned out. They could do the same thing to the United Kingdom, Eric. They could drive a wedge between us and the UK using the same system. They could drive a wedge between us and France using their same system. The Soviets couldn't do this. And yet the Qataris, with a undemocratic monarchy, have somehow driven a wedge between us and one of our closest democratic allies. It's breathtaking. And I got to tip my hat to them. I mean, they're geniuses.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, part of it is, again, I'm going to go with culture again. They don't plan in 2-year midterms or 4-year cycles. They plan in generations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, hopefully by the time their grandkids do blah, 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 something will take effect. So that's the Chinese, by the way, are also very good at that. That long view.
These ballistic, this $300 billion and the money, wherever it's coming from, Trump says he can't hold it any longer. It's their money. They're not going to build ballistic missiles with this. This $300 billion is going to go into Chinese hands who will sell them the ballistic missiles. Like we sell weapons to Israel. The Chinese are going to be the recipients of the frozen assets to replenish. Now, keep in mind, let me just go over this. Trump, on purpose, did not take Carg Island. He didn't blow up bridges. He didn't blow up refineries. He didn't blow up electric grids. He did not blow up bridges, roads, highways, or anything of infrastructure in the entire nation of Iran. We know that now. But he claimed to have taken down their Air Force and their Navy. Good. Let me see some photos. Let me see some videos of that. I want to see videos of their sunken Navy. I want to see videos of their destroyed Air Force, because he's already admitted that we've done no damage whatsoever to their infrastructure. So what did they expend? They expended their ballistic missile capacity. He says we took out not all of the launchers, 70% are still functional. They are going to use that money to replenish and rebuild, not the infrastructure, because we've already claimed that we didn't destroy it. Think about it just rationally. The money's going to go to replenish their military stocks. Why would you do that? It's one thing to rebuild oil refineries if you blew them up. When Clinton went into Bosnia, we struck bridges, we struck oil refineries. We hit every part of the infrastructure of Bosnia and then captured Milosevic, the leader of Bosnia, and put him on trial in the International Court in The Hague. This has none of that. We didn't hit any of their infrastructure. They have an army, which is, I think, the 16th largest in the world, did not fire a shot, did not get into battle, didn't do anything. What is Iran giving up here in terms of a surrender?
I don't know, but
yeah.
Shifting back to our hemisphere for a minute, because I think we've covered Iran.
Okay. Well, I just want to add one more thing.
Okay.
Which was covered on Two-Way this morning about the gentleman's agreement that he says that we have a secret gentleman's agreement with the Iranians. This is J.D. Vance saying this off the cuff in remarks yesterday when he was attacking Israel verbally, blowing people's heads up, by the way. A secret gentleman's agreement with thugs and terrorists is not a gentleman's agreement. Keep that in mind. And ironically, a great movie, by the way, for people who want to see the original gentleman's agreement. The irony is breathtaking.
Okay. Now, good news on our hemisphere. Cuban lawmakers approve sweeping reforms to socialist model amid U.S. pressure. So Cuban lawmakers unanimously approved sweeping reforms backed by the Communist Party and former leader Raul Castro that would privatize a vast swath of the country's socialist economy in a bid to survive punishing U.S. sanctions.
Oh.
Which is, it is a brilliant way for them to get out of it. It's like, okay, if you privatize it, then that means that we're not going to sanction like Chevron who buys this or whatever. I'm just throwing company names out there.
Yeah, they just want to get Trump off their back until he's gone. Then they'll go back to full-on socialism. This is bullshit. They just got to press them into oblivion. Go down there and grab Raul Castro and take him out of there. Like you did with Maduro, and save these people down there in Cuba who have been under the oppression of this communist regime since 1961. It's enough already for these people.
Well, that's one approach. The other approach could be that it works, that the people say, hey, I kind of like this. I kind of like having some private property. And, oh, wow, look at these hotels are here. And it could work. You know,
okay, I don't know.
For example, Vietnam.
Yeah,
which I don't know if you knew
it's
that.
Full on communist now, right?
I'd actually say it is more democratic than China. There's been a lot of research has been done that Vietnam ultimately won over because of consumerism.
Wait, last I looked, Vietnam is a full-on communist regime.
I don't think they are.
Okay, all right.
I don't think they are. And they have proven themselves successful. As a matter of fact, some of manufacturing getting out of China is going to Vietnam.
Oh, no, I'm not disputing
that. Other places.
Right, I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying it's a communist country. Unless something happened, I could be wrong. I wasn't paying attention to Vietnam for a long time, but Cuba has an indoctrinated base of people down there who, have a hierarchy in the communist pyramid who have a lot at stake. If that collapses on them too, Eric, right?
Well, I agree. I dealt with them. Yeah. But they also have the other people who I dealt with who are very, very adamantly going the other way.
Yeah.
So it is possible that it could work. Same way Venezuela is fully communist, Mark. But we're saying, hey, we're working with them. And there it is. So.
Well, again, Venezuela is a different story because they had two consecutive dictators in a row with Chavez and Maduro, and it was a Johnny-come-lately communist dictatorship with oil. The Cubans have been in business as a dictatorship, as a family thing since 1961. That is an entrenched communist regime, which is different, I'm saying, than Venezuela.
Okay. Unfortunately, the main guy is dead, and Raul is so freaking old. I don't know how much he's going to be around. I mean, even if we do get him and sentence him, he probably won't be in prison too long.
Well, he's got others beneath him. It's not just Raul running that thing. I mean, there are henchmen, but who are reporting to him.
Sure. All right. Now, I saw this story out of Florida. We'll get domestic for a minute here. This is astounding. Fired Florida probation officer leaked arrest warrants to alleged drug ring members, deputies say.
Whoa.
This woman here is facing 500 years.
More than 500 years behind bars. That's how long of a sentence this woman could be facing. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Arlisa Goldsmith.
Good evening. I'm Luann Sorrell. The former juvenile probation officer is accused of leaking information to a drug trafficking ring. Fox 35's Bailey Bonkover is joining us live in Orange County tonight. So, Bailey, how did this even happen?
Good evening. Well, it happened because deputies say she had access to a database that she should have never even had. Take a look at this.
Whoa.
This is 32-year-old Crystal Lawson walking in handcuffs
She looks
this
so
afternoon.
proud of herself.
Yeah.
Orange County deputies say she was hired as a juvenile probation officer with the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice in 2022, but was fired later that year after being arrested for battery. But investigators say she still had access to a database she used as part of her job. Fast forward to this year, investigators say between January and May, Lawson logged in 106 times and found active unserved arrest warrants. She also allegedly searched for and identified suspects in leaked arrest warrants.
Whoa.
Violate.
About as bad as you can get.
In terms of a data breach, too. You
Oh,
know, just-
yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, first off, how in the hell is she logging in?
Yeah.
Who the hell is working in their IT department? Why is her ID? She's been gone now for a couple of years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The ID, should be expiring before too long, but damn sure should have been cut off the second.
Don't they change automatically the passcode, or is
Well,
that?
then you just change your password remotely, potentially. But if she was cut off from her email, because you could have it set up where you have to do a two-factor it through the email, which would be an internal email. If she didn't have access to that, then anyway, there's a lot of problems with that IT department, in my opinion.
Well, I'm sure DeSantis is going to get on top of this thing, unlike Newsom out here, who's now defending his wife from attacks, quote unquote, by Trump. These payments that his wife was receiving, just so people understand the scandal out here, they are payment. I don't even know how to explain this, so I'm just going to tell you. They passed a law for this particular scam. They passed a law saying that Newsom or the governor's office can, when approached by a lobby, send the lobbyist to an NGO to make a donation. So when people approach Newsom, and this is legal because he signed the legislation, and it's a one-party state, when lobbyists came to him, including big Pfizer, including big pharma, including others over bills, he directed them to his wife's NGO, where they then made a donation, Eric, and then he signed their legislation. And it's legal. It's legal because he passed a law before he started doing this, saying it was legal. So now the feds have moved in on this, and they're saying, not legal. So this is going to be very interesting, and he looks really nervous about it, Eric.
Yeah, I heard somebody talking about it, saying that was the first time he didn't seem polished. I think it
No,
was Dan and
he's
Sean.
rattled.
I think Dan said that he was like, I haven't seen Gavin like that before.
He's rattled. He's definitely rattled by this.
I mean, okay. This story, I just find to be the craziest story I've seen for a while. What would be the lamest reason to not execute somebody?
The lamest reason because I'll tell you why. He says his last meal is the never-ending salad bar at Islands.
I know that's your favorite one, and you're going to.
No, my second favorite one is he insists on staying on Weight Watchers because his diet demands it.
No, but William Ratcliffe in the chat got it. Florida execution of 74-year-old death row inmate Dusty Ray Spencer reignites debate. They're saying he's too old to execute.
Oh, that I would never have seen coming. I never saw that one coming. Yeah,
I officially call this the stupidest reason I have ever heard of.
He's been on death row for 30 years.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, it has been 30 years. The guy's been on for 30 years.
I'm guessing.
And
Yeah.
he is too old to act. How do you figure this out? I understand you're too old to do a job, too old to do this, but wait, you're too old to serve your sentence? It's like, no, he shouldn't be this old. He shouldn't be
Well,
here.
the state is
later.
trying to help him with this problem by ending the old age problem.
Yes.
The state is trying to help him.
Yeah, I mean, it is so freaking bonkers. He's
Appeals
had
exhausted for 3 decades, huh?
Yeah, over 30 years on death row. Ron DeSantis signed his death warrant on May 26, finally clearing the way for his execution. And now they're saying he's already spent more than 30 years. He's already faced significant consequences. Yeah,
Well,
he
that
only
wasn't the penalty.
He only
That
has
wasn't-
one left, guys. It's all right. You're right. He's done great. So he's got one more to go.
Yeah, he's just got to get into that death row mentality that it's all over, you know. And he's you talk about exhausting all your appeals. Who the hell is representing this guy?
Well, they probably have died.
Yeah,
I mean, I wonder how many people involved have died
passed
over
on.
the 30 years, 2 generations.
Well, that's not
that.
even when the crime was. That's him on death. He was death row for 30 years. But the crime was probably before that.
Oh, it was definitely before that. I don't know how much before that, but
Yeah.
it could have been a few years for all we know. Amazing. Speaking of dying, now this guy is a good guy, and I'm not trying to draw a comparison, but just saw it coming across right before the show started. James Burrows, the co-creator of Cheers, just passed away. That is a giant right there in the sitcom world. Cheers, major show. He did that show, and I believe he worked with Brandon Tartikoff, and that helped establish Thursday night. Remember NBC and Thursday nights, how they just ruled comedy, from Cheers to Night Court to Seinfeld to Friends. I mean, literally decades worth of that. So I mean, amazing guy. Rest in peace. He's a true legend. Now, I saw this story. This is just, I want you to help me make sense of this. Apparently, Trader Joe's has bags, tote bags.
I'm sorry, I can't help you. I'm sorry. Are they striped? Are they striped bags?
They are striped bags. And
okay, well, there's your answer.
Okay, well, here we go. This is the line for tote bags.
At 3 times the speed.
Yes, I'm glad they're doing that.
I think you have to buy them for $3 too. They're not free.
Yeah, they're $3. They're like a $2.99 bag. And
yeah, this is a cult. The answer is fuck Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is a cult. These people go in there and they buy items that should not be together in the same store. And you can't get everything you need there. You have to go to another store anyway, because it's not a full-fledged supermarket. It has, it has specialty items. So you go there. I am saying today that this is a cult.
I could see that.
That's my answer to you.
And
this is their daycare. This is the daycare for the cult.
Well, and the interesting part about it is a lot of people don't realize it. Trader Joe is actually a subsidiary of Aldi's. When they came to the U.S. market, there's Aldi's and Lidl, which is 2 brothers out of Germany who they split their family up, and it was like a feud or whatever. And I believe that it's Aldi's. It's one or the other, but I think it's Aldi's.
Mm-hmm.
When they came to America, they were like, hey, nobody's going to get into this German store. So they bought out a small chain of Trader Joe's, and that's how Germany slid into
interesting
the American market. And a lot of people don't realize that. So you have Aldi's, Lidl, and Trader Joe's. And
well, the other 2 I don't know about, but Trader Joe's in California is like a synagogue. People go there to worship and look at the stuff and go in there. And I mean, it's just like a cult. I'm telling you.
$2 Chuck. Apparently they have $2 Chuck.
I don't know what that is. What's that one?
It's like I forgot the name of it. Charles
$2
something.
Chuck.
It's a wine, and
Right.
and they call it $2 Chuck. So
Yes,
it's very, very
yes,
popular.
I have heard that. I have heard that.
So
Yeah, Trader Joe's has some bags, and you have to wait online to buy them.
which I just don't get. I mean, I really don't get it. All right, so now I'm going to shift to your favorite thing, which is Sports Hour.
What do we have?
Well, this is kind of a follow-up on a story we discussed.
Oh, yeah, it is a follow-up because, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought I'd play the clip.
Yeah, sorry.
Become a big controversy. The Department of Justice now investigating Major League Baseball for potential religious discrimination. The league recently.
Now, I think you said that you were calling out Harmeet Dillon. So
Yeah, I did. She responded.
is doing it.
She responded twice, and the second time, because MLB denied that it was religious, and they were forced to wear the gay hat, the rainbow hat. And I pointed out quickly to Harmeet a photo of every player being forced to wear the Black Lives Matter insignia on their jersey in 2020. They didn't have the option of doing it. They had to choose between two of these different logos on their sleeve, which is also political. In other words, they were denying the political aspect of the rainbow hat, which is absurd, and saying that the real problem is the sanctity of the uniform, Eric, which I pointed out to her with numerous photos of players writing shit on their hats for years. For years. Happy Mother's Day to my mom, this guy on Philadelphia. The number 51 on both teams in the World Series for Mencia, the relief pitcher whose wife had a miscarriage, a sad situation. Everyone putting 51 on there. Kershaw 2 years ago putting a biblical phrase on his hat.
What about Pink for Breast Cancer has been there forever too.
Oh, but that's right. But that's a league sanctioned thing as well. But I'm saying individual people writing phrases on their hats goes back to the We Are Family Pirates of 1975. But nevertheless, she responded really quickly, as has Josh Hawley and has other senators who have now put the spotlight onto MLB, who are squirming from this. There's a guy named Krukow up in the Bay Area. He used to pitch for the Giants, and now he's their announcer. This guy has gone on an anti-Christian bigot warpath up there, and it is completely on full anti-Christian bigotry like we've never seen before. Not only by the Giant fan base, not only by the San Francisco Chronicle, but by this guy Krukow, who became the mouthpiece and is the announcer for the hated ones, as we call them, the Giants. I don't need any incentives to hate the Giants any more than I do. That's born into me through DNA. But boy, oh boy, is this thing not going away. And I'll tell you something else. The situation with the Washington Nationals has now risen up today because James O'Keefe did a secret hidden video.
I've got that clip.
Okay, well, they're connected now because MLB is now squirming over the Nationals' apology for targeting their Christian players.
Well, and I've got it's going, I guess, into the minor leagues because check this out.
Yep.
The park made this announcement late last night, saying this decision was made with, quote, great disappointment. They say some of the players refused to wear the special Pride Night jersey, so this game is being treated as a rainout.
I would ask the community for understanding. Running an organization in this way, with these difficult dynamics, having to find a solution to these complex problems.
And not so complex.
Without a clean solution.
No, he's tapped out. It's like, I got it. Wear your old uniforms and just have the game.
Okay, this is the Atlantic League's team. One of the top. This team won the championship 2 years ago. They all refused. The team itself forfeited the game rather than wear these fakakta uniforms. And Trevor Bauer's on this team, one of the great Dodger and Reds pitchers, Cy Young Award winner Trevor Bauer, friend of the show, trying to get back into Major League Baseball. This is yet another, and people saying that's not professional baseball. Let me tell you something right now. Minor league baseball is professional baseball. They're paid. They have medical insurance. They go to the big show. They go up and down. This is a professional baseball organization in the Atlantic division out of Pennsylvania.
No, I agree.
This thing is spreading like wildfire. People have had enough. They've had enough. And the three giants pitchers are not buckling, Eric.
Right. Well, I wanted to roll to that and then continue on with the national.
There it is.
I am on the community relations team, so like corporate social responsibility.
The director of community relations.
Look at Alex. He's found himself a new gig.
Yeah.
For the Washington Nationals of the MLB reveals unethical behavior within the management of the Washington baseball team, including religious discrimination against a starting pitcher.
One of our pitchers, Dude Trevor Williams, he is very Catholic. The Dodgers had a group out to the stadium who were drag queens who sometimes dressed up as nuns. He went on like a social media like, this is wrong, this is my religion, you all are mocking it. Because of that, we don't use him on social. Like when they're like, is a hot dog a sandwich? And like the players come up, you know what I mean? Like we don't ask him.
Potentially.
Yeah, they're going after them as well. The general manager of the Washington Nationals issued a long, phony apology on camera this morning at the stadium, completely complaining that you could read between the lines. We're upset that we got caught. Was the tone of the apology. We had no idea this was going on until O'Keefe filmed one of our guys blatantly talking about the discrimination against Catholics. Now, keep in mind, baseball itself, the players of the game is 70% Christian, 35% of which are Catholics, and it's heavily skewed because there's a lot of Latino players.
Sure.
0% that we know about in Major League Baseball are gay. Zero. There's nobody who said I'm gay. 35% Catholic, 71% Christian overall. And Major League Baseball has decided to room up and get close and support the 0%.
Yeah.
It's just shocking. It's just shocking.
By the way, I'm going to shift here to, if anybody is wondering why we're concerned about Mandami, why we're concerned about the Islam influx, things like that. This is a city called, I guess, Hamtramck or something like that. I'll have to look it up in Michigan, but this is what city council looks like in this Michigan city.
I can do the same thing every council meeting. You can. I can, and I can make the decision. You can do everyone. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. No. I don't know. This is the way the practice.
The question here is, who brought this resolution? The original.
Very good. Original Satnam brought it. Satnam brought it. My question is this.
I think you get the point. Does it?
I'm in the middle of Islamabad. I'm in the Islamabad City Council here. This is insane.
Yeah,
this is insane.
I can't understand what he's saying either.
No, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. Let me tell you something. This man, Dami, is supporting in the World Cup Uganda. When my great-grandparents came from Poland, they did not support Poland in the 1936 Olympics. I mean, it's just breathtaking. They will not even support American sports teams, even though they're here drinking our milk and honey. It's just shocking. He didn't mind supporting the Knicks because, hey, every politician loves a winner.
That's true.
But he's rooting for Uganda in the World Cup. I mean, take that for what it's worth.
Oh, I agree. By the way, you made me think of something when you said about drinking our milk and honey. Right now, we have the World Cup going on, and apparently Scotland has invaded Boston, and they've drunk
everything.
Many places dry except for Bud Light. So I was going to say they might drink milk and honey, but they're not drinking Bud Light.
Well, to be fair, Bud Light sponsored the UFC event at the White House. They have come completely full circle and have embraced MAGA.
Well,
and smartly.
Talk about cynicism. There you go.
They were the sponsors of the UFC event, Eric.
All right. Well, to close and an older story. The sentencing occurred this week of the
the Gilgo Beach killer. Gilgo.
I don't know why I always say that. Anyway,
it's weird. You'd have to be from there to know it. I mean, I'm from right there, so I mean, everybody knows how to say it. But yeah.
So we'll get to see this guy sentenced, and this scumbag is so proud of himself.
It's a psycho, fucking mad dog.
Stand up. There are no words I can say. I am responsible for what was said in this room today. The words I would say have no meaning.
I was responsible for the words that were said. No, just say what it is, you ass. But anyway.
I assume that you're sorry for what you've done to your wife and children.
Not really.
Are you a little bit sorry for what you did to these poor innocent women?
No.
8 women that you strangled to death? At least 8 that we know of? Are you at
There's
least
more.
a little bit sorry for that?
Well,
Yes?
do I get the free buffet?
You know what? You've been described as a very big man, but you're a disgusting and despicable small man.
Whoa,
If you're a man at all.
Judge, that's gone too far.
And you're a coward.
Whoa. Your Honor.
I agree. I agree.
Your Honor, how about the death penalty? Is that on the table for this case, Your Honor?
It's New York. Sadly, it's not. And honestly, this scumbag, the only reason I think he confessed to everything is obviously they had enough evidence, I think, to put him under the jail. But part of his conditions, I notice, is that he is required to talk to the behavioral science unit of the FBI. And I'm like, this guy is so happy that he gets to be like the people in Mindhunter on Netflix, and the FBI is going to go interview him, and he can relive his sick little crimes over and over and over.
Well, you can also extract favors from them, for revealing where bodies are.
Sure.
I mean, there's a lot for him to play with there.
Now, here's a feel-good moment that I think is funny. This particular content creator, I'm not going to say influencer, I like that they use content creator here, is known for making, quote, white people rage bait videos. And he was arrested at Indianapolis Walmart after repeatedly refusing orders to leave the store. And watch this guy and tell me if
he's on YouTube. He's a YouTuber, Eric, or
he's a content creator. It could be TikTok. I don't know.
Oh, right. You're right. Yeah.
Talk that shit to me, cuz. Not to them.
And then what?
Don't touch me.
And then what?
I can say what I want.
And then
you
what?
touch me in this bitch.
And then
I can
what?
say what I want. And then what?
That's why you're walking though, right?
I'm walking by choice.
Go.
Don't touch me.
Go.
Stop touching me. Stop touching
Go.
me. Don't touch me. Stop touching
Go.
me. Stop touching me, bro.
Go.
Stop touching me. Stop touching me.
What is he, the target police force or something?
It's a local cops. They're like, get.
Walk out when I
What do they want him to do?
Leave.
Who gonna make me?
For what?
Stop touching me, cuz.
Go.
Stop touching me,
You're
bro.
about to go in
You
handcuffs.
Stop touching me, bro.
You're about to go in cuffs. Go.
Stop touching me, cuz.
Can't
Can't touch me.
cuz.
You my cuz, bro. Stop
Go.
touching me with your
Go.
hand. Stop touching me with your hand, cuz. You can't put me in handcuffs. No, he can't. I didn't do shit. You can't put me in handcuffs. You can't put me in cuffs. I didn't do shit. For what? Watch out, bro.
You don't want to go in cuffs,
For
tough
what?
guy?
For what? For what?
Huh?
Stop touching. Why you keep touching me?
Because you gotta leave.
Why you keep, bro, stop touching me though.
Because you're not leaving.
I'm walking out. Stop
All
touching
right,
me.
I kind of get the gist of this thing.
Well, it's going. It's almost done.
All right.
Shut the fuck up. No, go this way. Stop touching me, gang. Stop touching me. What the fuck?
Oh, the taser.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
And there you go.
Did he get tased or no?
He didn't get tased.
Oh,
They put him down, but finally he's taken. I mean, how many
I don't know,
times?
what are they,
It's like,
dude? I mean, how about respect for law enforcement? I mean, what does
Just
this guy wait? They seem to not want to engage with anyone, and I don't blame them. But at some point, it just encourages them to do more disorderly things.
I agree.
Tase the fucking guy. I mean, just tase him.
I agree. Now for a feel-good moment, because we had the cat thing. This is funny. Apparently, this raccoon has a method.
Mm.
Don't hit him.
They're wily.
It's a drive-through, and the raccoons in front of the cars, they're driving up in the drive-through.
Right.
What's he doing? Are they going to give him a donut? Oh, they're going to give him a donut. Oh my God.
He always gets
Do
a
it.
donut there every day.
Throw him the donut.
Yeah, throw it to him.
Oh, look at him win. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
He's trying to
Ah!
Oh my! Every day he shows up at 4 o'clock
Yes.
for that donut. He knows.
And
Well, he
he's
knows
like-
when her shift starts. The woman,
Yeah.
the soft touch for the donut lady.
Yeah,
That's a huge thing for him. A donut.
Hey, wouldn't you? I mean, I think that's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Absolutely.
Anyway, that's our feel good. I've got a couple others. I don't know if you saw this about in Boston Garden, Norway was here for World Cup. And,
Inside the Boston Garden, or
yeah, this is how they ride an escalator.
that's funny. That's funny.
I've never seen anybody get on
Very
an
funny.
escalator.
Very funny.
Yeah,
I mean, they're going to run out of liquor in Boston with that Scottish group there. That's for sure.
Oh, they already, yeah. It was so funny when they're like, yeah, it's all gone, and they're happy as hell. I mean, considering what's going on. Now, remember we were talking about the tourists, who come here and the different videos and things like that. Well, we're getting more of them with the World Cup. So here's somebody from Japan.
The original sauce here, like this. Oh my God! And then grab. How big is it?
Bite. First bite, man. That's your first ever bite of Texas barbecue. What do you think?
Amazing!
Hey, that's a
Like not hard.
Tender.
Texture tender. Yeah,
tender.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah. Uma means delicious. Uma.
I love those where they're just discovering America, having a
It is a weird place. I mean, with all the different cultures smushed together.
Well, it's so damn big.
Yeah.
I mean,
Where is that, in Texas?
Yeah, that one's in Texas.
Yeah.
I had a couple others, but I just don't have them on hand. But anyway, love all of these stories. Now, what else do we have here? Oh, okay. I had this story in Chicago. I don't know if you saw this, but apparently there was a burning cross in Grant Park.
I did see something. I thought it was Cincinnati, but that might have been my cousin Bobby. What is this one now? Another? Oh, is this the guy who faked it to blame? Right. Okay. Yeah. This is a type of Jussie Smollett incident.
Absolutely. And here's this.
I don't want to wait until he may or may not get impeached. I want him gone right now.
On that video, are you threatening him?
No.
You
I
say that you think that he should be brought to an end.
I think no. I said he deserves to stand trial to the American people. Some paraphrase, I guess, but
I think you use the word end.
That's what I mean by end. I mean by end, I don't mean like a civil war. If that is the imagery that you're trying to imagine.
Lou says he built this cross after carrying wooden slats from his near West Side apartment to Grant Park last Tuesday afternoon.
Right on.
He showed the red ball cap that he put on the top beam and used lighter fluid and toilet paper to get it all going.
I put a red hat.
Chicago, just like Jussie.
Yeah, just like Jussie Smollett.
The MAGA hat, the Make America Great Again hat. So that was, yeah, that's what I tied on top.
But that's not visible in the one video that was taken by a motorist.
Lou says he was protesting what he calls MAGA Christian nationalist supporters and the Trump administration ruling class.
You just scam me. We're just scamming me out of money, right?
Wow.
And I think that's a great reflection of how this country works right now.
Whoa.
So he's a genius.
Yeah, obviously he's got his politics a little confused, but
Yeah.
I mean, when you live in the center of Chicago, it's expected that you might be in a muddled situation trying to get a new library card to the Obama library. I don't know what is going on at that brutalist structure, but every single president, including Bush and his wife, were there. Michelle Obama goes up and makes a statement about the unbelievable, devastated economy they inherited from George Bush Jr. when they got into office, and George Bush is sitting right there. I mean,
Well,
what
he
is
probably has
the
some candy
upside
in
for
his pocket for her?
What is the upside for this schmuck to go there like a circus clown or a rodeo clown to be headbutted by a bull? Like, what is it about these scenarios that he has to be there?
I don't know, but now that you bring up that story with him, anyway, whatever. I can't even get it. We've got Biden's.
Oh, he didn't know where he was.
My granddaughter.
So,
oh my God, this is elder abuse, Eric.
Yeah, it is.
You can't do that. This guy should be institutionalized. Come on.
I agree.
I mean, what are they wheeling this guy out for to do that? I mean, every time he opens his mouth, it's a more distortion. It's elder abuse.
I agree. Huh. I mean, that's part of the reason. I mean, honestly, we barely even talked about the guy. He just happened to roll out because of that. I mean,
yeah.
I think we've talked more about Hunter than him, and Hunter's pretty much irrelevant, but amazing. Now, keeping up the good news and the good front, though, we do have some super chats, and
that's always nice.
Tractor Guy has been a member for 27 months. So
he's in the barn.
2
The
years.
cows even love the show.
and to bring him in, he gifted 10 memberships for his cows.
For the moo.
And we do appreciate.
Is he coming to the meetup, by the way? Didn't he say he was coming?
I think he said he couldn't, but we kept saying, he could always start the tractor and, come on down. I don't know if he is.
Let me see the hands of the people in the chat who are coming to the meeting, Eric. Put your hands up if you've gotten it together so far to come to. I think it's a week from tomorrow, right?
It is.
Oh, okay. Well, we got to get together on this thing. Well, let's go, people.
I agree. What thing is this we got to get together on, Mark?
This meetup, this gigantic meetup in Anaheim, California next Saturday night.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, there it is. There's the one right there. That's images of us and Nate together. Obviously, seeing a UFO together as a group. We'll discuss that even more when we get to the Anaheim meetup next Saturday night, which is going to be a great party, by the way. I just got back from down there. I was down in San Diego last week, and I'll go down there tomorrow for that. And then I got to go to following week to go camping down there in the mountains. There's a lot of stuff going on down there. When I say down there, I mean south of LA, deeper into Southern California.
See, I'm so lost with California. I don't know if Anaheim is south or north or northeast.
Well, it's south of LA, and San Diego is south of Anaheim. So, yeah, just to give you some perspective.
All right, yeah.
But this is going to be a lot of fun. Eric and I have put this on before, so don't worry. We're professionals. No one is going to get hurt.
Any issues you have would be Mark's fault.
Any problems you have, I'll be there to listen to you briefly and possibly buy you a drink if you're correct. If you're not correct, I can't help you. But you can, either way, kind of slide up to the Roy Rogers Fixins bar here and pile that onto your plate till the cows come home.
No, why?
And then go into this UFO here, which Eric and I are going to ride.
I'm sure that's the lobby. But
it is the lobby. It is a lobby. Yeah.
And then you'll wind
up.
That's
the inside the belly of the beast in there. And you'll be sitting there with your friends and peers discussing America's untold stories. Any questions, anything you have, any books, any things, articles, diaries, stories you have, this is the place to bring them into this room right here.
That's right. And we'll have a wonderful dinner.
Yeah, you not only get tea bags, you get hot water. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much now, but you will appreciate it after this incredibly enormous gut-filling meal.
That's true. And a bag of coffee is en route to Mark.
Right on.
Be
Yeah,
there.
by the way, this is, you could take as much as you want here from this buffet. So this is not just one plate. You could keep going back.
That's true. That's true.
And I'm sure Nate will, if you know Nate.
All right.
I'm sure I will. So I'm going to be stuffing it on there.
So how do we do all this? Well, very simply. If you want to find out more information and get tickets, there are links in the description below, or you can always point your phone at the screen if you're watching this on the television.
Right on.
And it will take you right into the ticketing location with the hotel discount, where it is, everything else. You're almost out of time. It'd be probably a good
I would
idea
get it together. I would get it together. You could fly into LAX, and then it's every man for himself. I mean, you could Uber down there to Anaheim or rent a car, or there's various ways to get from LAX to this particular place. It's across the street from Disneyland, so it's not like it's out in the woods somewhere. It's right there in the center of Anaheim, and you've got the Angels right next door with their stadium. So there's a lot of stuff right there. Knott's Berry Farm. There's a lot of ways to get to where we are.
100%. Now, a lot of people are going the other direction in the country right now, and you could do this as your means to travel, but you better leave early. But these people are actually running
to get to the meetup. To get to the meetup.
Well, they're running to get to the 250th. They don't have time to do both.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't.
But this, I thought was a really cool story, and I thought I'd segue into it.
It's Freedom Friday, and more than 250 runners are taking part in a coast-to-coast relay with one patriotic goal: reaching Washington, D.C. by July 4th. And get this, they're going to be carrying an American flag as they do it.
Holy cow.
Participant to the next over the course of about 3,000 miles in what is the largest cross-country relay race. On average, runners travel 162 miles a day, with every single mile dedicated to a veteran who served our nation.
How about that? Joining us now, the people who put this all together, founders of Relay for America, Joe Nail, and co-founder Wyatt Moss.
Relay for America has a really simple mission, which is uniting Americans 1 mile at a time. And we think that America is still an exceptional place. I think that there's this narrative that people like to talk about all the things that are wrong with America. And really the spirit of this relay is showing all the things that are right with America. We're a couple of young people. We love this country. And we had this big idea that for America's 250th birthday, we wanted to do something really special to bring people together and accomplish a really big goal. So on Sunday morning at the Pacific Ocean, we set off with a pretty small crew of about 15 people and this big dream of going coast to coast. And now for 3,019 miles straight at about a 9-minute average pace through the day, through the night, the flag will never stop moving until it gets to Washington, D.C. Yeah, so
whoa, that's pretty cool.
I think
3,019 miles. There's an extra 19 on there, Eric. Just, when you get
believe
into,
me,
when you get into D.C., there's another.
They count. They count. And I can tell you,
those last 19 are probably the hardest.
Yeah, I was going to say, I ran 4 marathons and a 50K.
Wow.
And the 50K is, technically 31 miles.
Yeah.
Because of metrics. I was like 26.2, 31. How much of a difference is it? Turns out a lot. After the marathon distance, you really start to feel those late miles, I promise you.
Right. Well, this is like a relay race, though. So
it is, yeah.
Right. And the others are in a car alongside a van, I presume, right?
Yeah, and 250 to keep changing, but it's still brutal. I mean, over that time, you're going to get blisters, everything. And they're running, cross country. So it'll be up over the Rockies. Can you imagine the legs there?
Even my car doesn't like going over those Rockies.
Exactly. But I think that's a really cool, inspirational thing.
Great story. Great inspirational story. Also, the Medal of Honor winner who Trump gave the Marine, the Black Marine, who was the poster boy for the during the Vietnam War.
Well, he was on the recruitment posters.
Yeah.
For
During
what?
Vietnam,
Like,
during Vietnam, right? Or
no, I think all the way into like the 80s.
oh, I don't know how long it lasted, but I
but
just
he was on there for a long time.
Yeah.
And I thought this was cool that
yeah,
you know, Trump is there.
The United States.
They're very good.
Holding him up.
Presenting the Medal of Honor to
Very good.
And I'm sorry I can't hear the sound, but everybody can get the point.
Yeah.
It's very respectful, and Trump is very good about this too. The
Great
amount of
stuff.
respect
Yeah.
that he's giving him, you could see how much he really admires this Marine. And
how old is he? Like 90?
He's a Vietnam vet. I think he's in his 80s.
Okay.
But I mean, he's probably seen some hard times. You know, he was wounded multiple times, I think, when he dragged every person out of his platoon. True hero. Also the first black Marine to get the Medal of Honor. Somehow Obama forgot, I guess.
Oh, he couldn't answer the phone that day.
Yeah, apparently. Same with Biden, you know, hey.
Yeah, he completely forgot the guy. Well, they don't like to be reminded about Vietnam no matter what it is, Eric.
No, but you know, hey, we're selective in the anyway, but yeah, you're right that is a truly great.
You know, I keep getting these text messages every hour on the hour. Grand opening. Would you visit the Barack Obama Presidential Library? With so few responses, we need your reply.
Oh, I thought they were going to say, were you going to ask if you needed a permit to bring your trash? Because it looks like a giant dumpster.
Yeah,
it really does. So
they asked me if I wanted to be on the board. The last text message, do you want to be on Barack Obama's legacy board?
Oh,
and I'm just going, how much does that cost me? I'm sure that's $5,000.
Oh, 10 probably.
Yeah. What a grifter.
Oh, we were talking about that on one of the shows where it's a new trend now to get into Congress or whatever, to hearings, to have line waiters. And the going rate for somebody to sit online or in line, you're in New York, or so I guess you say online.
Yeah.
But is $1,000. So
we say inline. We say inline.
Okay, well, I've heard people say online, and I always thought that was
stay in line.
clear.
Yeah, stay
But
in line.
It's in line for me too.
Yeah.
But anyway, $1,000. So
well, it's better than the bill they're about to sign in Sacramento, in California. $66 an hour you must pay to question your elected officials during any sort of hearing or public event that they are attending. You will be charged money if you have questions of your elected officials. So the reason this is of interest is the creative desperation to find money for their socialist government. They have reached into areas that nobody has ever seen before. They voted 10-5 on the LA City Council yesterday to put onto the ballot the right for illegal aliens to vote. Now, the reason this is important is they've shifted from stealing elections for individuals to stealing ballot initiatives through ballot fraud. This is a new level. We had a initiative on there, this particular primary ballot, to raise the sales tax of the city of Los Angeles from 9 to 10.75%. And every single person for every ballot initiative for a decade here has voted no for all of them, because of the fraud of absconding with the money for other programs. There's a long history of putting things on the ballot like educational fundraising, and then it goes to something else. Okay, so everyone in LA has abandoned voting for these things. Surprisingly, when we went to bed, the initiative was dead. And 4 or 5 days later, it overcame the initial balloting and surprisingly won. I predict they're going to do the same thing with the illegal voting on the ballot. They're now moving into stealing initiatives as opposed to candidates' elections, and I need to point that out.
Okay. Well,
but also, just so you know, the FBI is all over downtown yesterday. This is a cover of the California Post this morning. FBI agents going all through Skid Row, interviewing people about being paid to vote for Karen Bass. The New York Post was there. The FBI agents were undercover. They went down there in a swarm, interviewing every homeless person on Skid Row and getting their names and who gave them the money to vote for Karen Bass.
By the way, before we go any further on that, we do have a feature that we are doing on Locals for those who want to check it out, and you can be a member there for free, which is Torn from the Headlines, and that is actually part of the Torn for the Headlines part that we will be continuing on and doing when we shift over to Locals. But before we I
just want to see if you had any more super chats to remind you.
I absolutely do. That's why
I was just
saying.
Yeah. Okay. No. Sometimes we forget and we go over there and we go, oh, fuck, we forgot.
No, usually that's when somebody sneaks in at the very end, and they do that to make me feel guilty. I'm like, man, because I do a little bit of a preamble at the end, and then somebody will drop it in, and I go into Locals, I'm like, oh, shit, I missed one. And it's not intentional, but we do have a Rumble rant as well. King of Biltong. Fuel your day with dried sausage from Biltong USA. Clean ingredients and serious protein. Perfect for road trips, work, or snack time, anytime. Go to BiltongUSA.com. Use code AUS for 10% off. And then John Springer, who is raising his hand, he will be at the meetup a week from tomorrow. You laughed off my question about how people are getting from LAX to Anaheim for meetup on Tuesday. So let me ask this. What is a deconstructed salad? It's on the menu.
I don't know what I don't know the answers to any of your questions, Springer. That's why you got to suit up and show up. I don't know anything about anything.
But while you're there, you can ask. I'm assuming that it is, I don't know, just thrown together. But good question. I never thought about that.
And how you're going to get from LAX to Anaheim, I just provided some answer to that question, I think. As for you personally, I have no idea.
Yeah, we'll give options.
Yeah.
All right. New Jersey, or NJ Kathy, I have a cake for him. Happy 74th final birthday.
Okay. Final birthday. Who's that for?
Who was that? Who's that?
Why is it a final birthday?
I don't know. I feel like I missed something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jan Barnes is a new member. Well, thank you,
on.
Jan. We do appreciate that very much. It does help a lot. And then last but not least, we have a Pirate Ken.
Woo-hoo.
Ahoy! Please clarify something regarding the World Cup festivities. Scotland is not an independent, self-governing country. Why in the name of all things holy is Scotland allowed to participate as if it is its own country?
Dude,
you know
I
what?
have
Puerto
no
Rico's
idea.
had that kind of thing in the Olympic. There's some other ones that do
I have no
show
idea.
up as countries, even though they're not. In the Olympics, for example.
I don't know. I don't know what this. I don't follow the World Cup. It's not my thing. But I guess maybe they have a soccer team.
Well, yeah.
Is it part of the UK soccer team? It's just the Scottish guys that are on the team.
Well, Scotland's kind of weird, and that's the other question: would there be two Irelands? Because you have Northern Ireland, then you have Ireland, or the Republic of Ireland. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a great question, Pirate Ken. But yes, there are countries, and I bring up Puerto Rico because I do remember seeing Puerto Rico showing up for events too. I don't know beyond that. Apparently, America's main superstar soccer player, though, is injured, so things don't look great.
Hold on. She's saying it's a separated salad, this woman, about the deconstructed salad. Separated like... It's in different bowls, and you make your own
I get
salad.
it.
Tomatoes are here.
Look at
cucumbers are here. And then you put it together with what you want.
Thank you, Kara.
Kara, thank you for answering that. Like two guys like us are going to figure that out. Thank you.
I agree. I was sitting there thinking about my last story here, which I guess goes with salad, but we've talked about different side effects of Ozempic before, right?
Yes, we have. Is there yet another one?
There is another one.
It's now $50 a month at Rite Aid to get
they're piling up because as it spreads wider, it's going to get worse. But
yeah,
weight loss drugs linked to Ozempic ears.
Oh, I did read about this. Yeah, like a droopy ear, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Look at that.
And that is, but if you think about it, like, if you look at like Sharon Osbourne, she does have these weird, long, elongated ears. That's
Is
just
that
something
true? I
didn't think
haven't
about.
looked at her ears lately. What are you saying?
Well, let me see. I could swear that she, you know, was looking like in the recent shots with all the weight loss, like her ears were getting longer. Almost.
Droopy? Maybe she's covering it with that hair.
I think she is. I'm trying to find a shot with her hair put up, but yeah, I don't have it on hand, but anyway, it makes
it's having
sense.
weird effects. We're not done yet because, as Eric is pointing out, as it goes wider and wider across the country, different things are going to appear. Now, my particular stance on this is obesity is so draconianly bad health-wise that any of these things are worth it. And the reduction by Trump of this price down to $50 is heroic. How he got it down to $50 is amazing.
True. My issue, and I don't think Mark and I see it eye to eye on it completely, is ideally Ozempic is a lifesaver for those who are extremely morbidly obese and way out. But if a person can lose it naturally, the weight naturally, it's always preferable to not get
I
on
don't
that
disagree with you.
The
I don't disagree with
Ozempic wears off over time. So that they will start to gain the weight back after a couple of years, things like that, unless they change their lifestyle. So it's really important. It's kind of like the stomach stapling, that there are people who have had their stomach stapled, they lose a lot of weight, but then they manage to eat enough to gain weight back again. We got another super chat in here. Here we go. Can you do a mind map like Robert Gouveia, Esquire, does something on some topics like JFK or anything else? It would be
or
interesting.
anything else. He just wants a mind map of anything else.
No, the time involved.
Wait,
in
I don't
doing that.
understand. He wants a mind map of anything, like
Right.
some topics or anything else. It would be interesting to connections in one big visual representation.
Right. It would be interesting. I agree with that. Like Watergate could be a great mind map where you could say the different papers, the burglars. Mind maps are fascinating and great, but they also are incredibly time consuming and challenging. With AI, somebody could probably generate a mind map, or you might be able to
you
feed
could do that
in
at home,
information.
Go ahead.
Notebook LM by Google would be a good place to start. If you find PDFs, and some of which you could get a hold of on our locals as a paid supporter, you could feed those into Notebook LM and possibly generate
a mind map.
maps. of your
Interesting.
own
Good
from
idea,
that.
Eric. That's a
So,
fun project. I'm not going to do it, but the people at home could do it.
Right. There are different options for sure. On that note, we are actually going to head over to locals right now, and we could discuss mind mapping and bad words that we can't say on YouTube.
Also, the White House sauerkraut diet that everyone is on because of Bobby Kennedy passing this around. The White House is now all
which
eating.
we're discussing in the
which
or from the headlines on locals.
Yeah, we'll talk about it over there.
So, see everybody there momentarily. Unstructured.locals.com.